All right, so first off, all praise to Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the prophets of doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number. All right, so first off, let's go ahead and get this fair use statement again. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. All right, so we're going to pick right back up here in Revelation 13, and now we're going to start with Revelation 13 and 15. All right, it reads, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." Now listen to this. All right, he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast. All right, the manner of life of that first beast. All right, he has the power to give life unto that. All right, he brought all these things back into the world during this Renaissance. Okay, the fulfillment of the wound being healed is what we're living in now. Okay, but he brought it back so much so, okay, that it would cause as many as would not worship the image should be killed, because the world is walking one way and we're walking the other. All right, a remnant and an elect, which the world is going to look at us as the enemy. Okay, the world is going to look at us as the enemy. Okay, and some of us will definitely be martyred for this truth. All right, but that's how he's going to cause the ones that don't worship, all right, to come under death. Okay, all right, because the whole world is going to look at us a certain way, being in the manner of them. All right, they're not going to be in the manner that we follow after, which is Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, so there's a definite split here. All right, a definite split here. Then it goes right into verses 16 and 17 and 18, which we should be familiar with. All right, but this video again is speaking about the war that's coming upon that place. So let's remind everyone of Revelation 13 and 1. All right, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, these 7 heads are 7 kingdoms. All right, you have the ancient, the Roman names of these 7 kings that were back in the ancient Roman days, which are, or these 7 heads, not that were back there, but you have 10, all right, you have vassal states that were back there. You have an ancient Roman set, and then you have the updated names, but they are still these 10 crowns. All right, these 10 horns. As far as the 7 heads, they are Greece, Rome, the Spanish, the French, the British, Germania Major, Germania Minor. Okay, these are the 7 main heads of the Edomite Empire. Okay, 7 heads and 10 horns. The 10 horns play a part in this. They are vassal states. Okay, remember, we're speaking about the beast from the sea, which was the Roman dominion coming up. But since all these things were forwarded, all right, this empire, this system, this beast system, still has those same 7 heads, 10 horns, but in more updated names. All right, so let's look at what a vassal state is, because this is what still plays a part in this war that's coming. what I'm going to type into Google is explain what a vassal state is and its role or purpose. We'll do purpose, I guess. All right, it says a vassal state is a semi-independent, which is very important here, right? Semi-independent territory, politically subordinate to a more powerful state or overlord, often providing tribute, military support, or resources in exchange for protection, political legitimacy, and internal autonomy, with modern equivalents including client state or satellite state. Though the degree of control varies greatly, its purpose is to extend a dominant power's influence and security by creating buffer zones and securing resources without full annexation, while the subordinate state gains security and stability. Okay, so what is a vassal state? It says limited sovereignty. It says a vassal state retains some self-governance, but cedes significant control over foreign policy, defense, and sometimes economic matters to the dominant state. All right, hierarchical relationship. It says similar to feudalism, the ruler of the vassal state swears allegiance to a higher sovereign, forming a chain of command. It talks about varying degrees of control. It says the relationship can range from loose alliances, like some historical tributary states, to near total control, like a puppet state or satellite, with terms like client state, protectorate, or associated state used today. Okay, what is the purpose of a vassal state? It says security and buffer zones. It says creates a buffer against enemies, making the dominant power's borders more secure. Resource acquisition, it says, and you should think about America. All right, there hasn't been any outside force to come into America, all right, and cause a war here. All right, to come in here and have a war from an outside, a war here from an outside force. Okay, again, security and buffer zones creates a buffer against enemies, making the dominant power's borders more secure. Keep that in mind, all right? Resource acquisition, it says secures tribute, wealth, and manpower, which is military support, all right, for the dominant empire. Indirect control, it says allows a powerful nation to exert influence and control over territory and populations without the costs and responsibilities of direct rule. It says provides allies and strategic advantages in international relations. All right. So, what are these horns doing? All right, they uphold this beast. They uphold this Edomite empire. All right, being especially that one of the blessings given to Esau was to live by his sword. All right, his sword is a definite power, and you cannot overlook that. That is something given by the Lord. All right, that is something given by the Lord. As a matter of fact, the only one that's going to take these Edomites out of power is Yahweh Shai. Okay. All right, which is why he tells us vengeance is his. All right, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do. Speaking to you Israelites, all right, there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to come against this man. I don't care how many of his weapons that you have. I don't care how much you think that you are going to band together to protest or whatever the fuck. All right, this is what you should be dealing with, the truth. You should be out here, hey, the duty of a watchman, like we read in the verse in the first video. This is what the Lord tells us to do. All right, this is what we put our hope and faith in, not weapons. Okay, not carnal weapons. All right, our sword, our weapon is these scriptures. Okay, But going back to the vassal states, they put their trust, they put their faith in these larger empires, all right, for promises of whatever, okay, all right. Um, and pretty soon, these people are going to see Esau-Edom for what he is. He's going to they're going to turn on this place, and this place will be no longer considered a virgin or untouched by war. All right, and if you look around, you'll be able to see that these things are brewing up now. Okay, today. Okay, we got Iran in the mix. We got Greenland. All right, they just did something to Venezuela. They just did something to Nigeria. All right, and these are the things that are just on the news. They're talking about hitting Mexico and man, what's the other one? No, there's no telling. They're talking about hitting all these places. All right, because again, their power is in the sword. The Lord said that they would live by the sword. Okay, let me see. So all the way back here to Genesis 27. All right. Genesis 27 and 34. We'll start up here. Well, actually, no, we'll start at 38. All right, it says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Okay? And that happened during the Renaissance and during the time of King David. Okay? Uh, or was it Solomon? I can't remember right now. But now let's get back to some more of this prophecy of war. All right? We went through Revelation 13. Now let's go to here to Revelation 14 for a minute. Revelation 14 in the subheading above verse 6 reads, vision of the angel with the gospel, or vision of the angel with the gospel, or the good news. Okay, it says, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. All right, this is what we do. All right, this is what we are doing. We heard about the duty of a watchman. This is speaking of us carrying out that duty. Let me find this other verse. All right, Matthew 24 and 14. It reads, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. All right, this is what we're finding out about. This is what it's speaking about in Revelation 17 and 14. All right, 17 and 15 also. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. All right, and this is where all this gospel is being spread into. All right, so no one has an excuse. Okay, but listen to this, Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. What fire is that? All right, the thermonuclear fire. Okay, when all these missiles hit over here, This is what this is speaking about. All right. It says, Revelation 17:17, for Yahweh Baal Shem Shai hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast. All right, vassal states. All right, they think that they're going to get some type. All of them, I bet, probably think that they're up next. Okay, maybe they already know today that they're going to have to turn on this place. All right, but maybe a lot of them think that they're next because they're not considering these scriptures. All right. Again, Revelation 17:17, for Yahweh Baal Shem Shai hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai shall be fulfilled. All right. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city. All right. This is that bigger nation in the vassal state versus empire that they are under relationship. This is that great city. All right. This is the whore that has the world drunken off of its philosophies and beliefs. Okay. Revelation 17:18, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. All right. um, let me see. All right, now let's go jump here to Revelation 18, the next chapter. Okay, let's talk about a little bit more of this prophecy of war, but also what the Lord is telling you, okay, right now, as of this day. Okay, Revelation 18:1, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Okay? Any kind of philosophy, anything that you want to do, you come to America, you can do it. All right? And then they also spread this to other places, all right, with their treaties, all right, their alliances. All right, they bleed these philosophies and beliefs out. They have other places making laws behind their manner of life. All right, spreading their wickedness. Okay, for all nations have drunk of the wine. Have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. All right, a lot of these policies, all right, will have gotten her rich and the people that are vassals under her, that help uphold her system, that push her manner of life. All right. So this is why they come to this place. All right. It makes a lot of people rich, a lot of countries rich. Okay. If you do what they say. Okay. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues. Come up out of that image. Come up out of worshiping this beast. Come up out of walking in her ways. You need to walk in the Lord's ways. All right, turn and walk into the light, man. All right, come into the Lord's marvelous light, man. Okay. Revelation 18:5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh and Yahweh Shai hath remembered her iniquities. All right. Reward her, even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. All right, everything that she's done to the children of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, the is going to get done to her. All right, they have a lot of doom coming. All right, they have a very big judgment coming upon them. Okay, it says how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. This is the same thing she tells you people. All right. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh Ba'al Shai, who judges her. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so war is coming to this place, man. Let me see. One woe. All right, Revelation 9 speaks about World War One. Okay. In verse 12, it tells you. All right, in verse 12, it tells you one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. All right, now let's get this quote here. All right, this is the last empire that's going to stand before the Lord sets up his kingdom. All right, after this, it's going to be righteousness, ruled by righteousness. I want to find this quote really quickly here about World War IV. All right, quote about World War IV. Now listen to this. It says the most famous World War IV quote, often attributed to Albert Einstein, warns of humanity's regression after total war. It says, I do not know with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. It says this quote highlights the devastating potential of modern warfare, suggesting a future conflict could destroy civilization so completely that people would return to primitive survival using basic tools like sticks and stones. All right. It says it's a stark warning about the catastrophic consequences of a third world war, especially with nuclear weapons. It implies that advanced technology could be lost, forcing humanity back to the Stone Age. It says, while widely attributed to Einstein, some sources suggest it might be anecdotal or a paraphrase from conversations, though it captures his known sentiments about nuclear annihilation. Now, they are right. All right, World War III is going to be catastrophic. There are going to be very catastrophic consequences, all right, from World War III. Doom, as a matter of fact. But what they don't know is that advanced technology is not going to go backwards. All right, it's going to go forwards, in that the Lord, all right, and his spiritual technology is going to be here on the earth. All right, we're going to have chariots, spiritual power. All right, the Israelites are going to have more than what this world could wish for, man. Okay, things beyond what they even consider now. All right, this is what this does not. This doesn't. You can tell that they don't even reference the Lord. All right. And a lot of people think that this place, America, Babylon the Great, is indestructible. Okay, but that's exactly the mind state that the Lord wants you in. Okay, He's going to take you out at the peak of your power. Okay, I want to look for the scripture really quickly here. All right, Psalm 49. Let's get Psalm 49 and 11, and then Psalm 64 and 6. It says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lanes after their own names." All right, this is what they're in the midst of doing. All right, these people want to conquer this place and that place, bomb this place and that place, and just put themselves in the seat of government. Really, what they want to do is put themselves in the seat of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right, they want to rule the world. All right, Psalm 64 and 6. Now they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay, so there is war coming to this place, man. All right, one woe is past, and behold, there come two more, or two woes more hereafter. And we know that World War II already happened. All right, World War III is inbound, man. Fuel. All right, Isaiah 9 and 5. "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." All right, fire is a cleansing engine or agent, and this is what the Lord is going to make happen. Okay, during the time of World War III, you're also going to have the chariot fire coming down. All right, this place is going to get cleansed again. Okay, it's also known as the second death. All right, first it was with water. This time it's going to be with, hey, like I said here in Isaiah 9 and 5, fuel of fire, with burning and fuel of fire. All right, what was I about to look up? Oh man, it just went out of my head. Just second death, and we hope to escape this. That's what I think. It even says that in this verse. All right, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. All right, he that hath an ear, all right, or has the understanding, the gift of faith leads to this. All right, he that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Okay, Revelation 20 and 6. "Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power." All right, "But they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Yahweh Shai, and shall reign with him 1,000 years," which is that first dominion. Okay. Yeah, there's a few more, well, a couple more verses that have second death in there. Let's read Revelation 21 and 8. "But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death." All right, this nuclear war that is coming upon this earth. All right, most of the things that are dropped are going to be dropped here on this land. All right, no one is going to dwell here anymore. Okay, so that was just a prophecy of war, right? Because it is coming. Okay, the ones who have an ear, all right, or eyes to see, okay, can look around and understand that it's headed towards prophecy. They can also listen to the words of the men of the Lord and know that this is all leading towards prophecy. All right. So I hope this came through as sincere and edifying. And with that, all right, all praise to Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, otherwise known as GMS for short, but also known as the prophets of doom. These are where I have learned this truth and where I am still learning this truth, and also shalom to the remnant and the elect of Israel. Lord willing, I am of that number, and Lord willing, we'll see you in the next video. Shalom.